Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am still doing my 31 days of horror movie reviews with Quarantine. Yes, I watched for the first time Rec, the Spanish version of this movie, so why not watch the American remake? This is a 2008 horror film that came out just 1 year after Rec. This is directed by John Eric Dold. And it's funny saying directed by because it's a found footage horror movie. I'm not putting down the directing that probably has to go into this, but still, it's funny. And the plot, it's pretty much the same plot as the original Rec, where we meet this reporter, Angela, this time played by Jennifer Carpenter. Her and her cameraman, Scott, they go to a fire station and they're doing a report about a day in the life of firemen. And everything seems to be going well. They get their first call, but the call is at this apartment building. And this apartment building, it's originally a call for this old woman that's sick, and they're trying to treat her. But then they soon find out that this woman isn't just sick, she's erratic, she's crazy, she's violent. And not just that, they've been locked in this building. The police outside won't let them out. They've blocked off all the exits. And now they're not only desperate to get out, but they're also stuck in this building with what they find out to be a virus that's turning everybody into seemingly zombies. Now, what I think of Quarantine is I enjoy this movie. I do. Now, maybe it has to do with that I saw this movie first before Rec. I actually remember seeing this in the theater with a bunch of friends of mine. First, let me talk about Jennifer Carpenter as Angela, because now seeing Rec, I don't know if I could say that I like Jennifer Carpenter more than that actress in the Spanish version, but I will say that I do like Jennifer Carpenter. She's very likable at the beginning when she's spending time with the firefighters, and she's sort of just, she seems like a normal person. I love how the movie's edited too. I mean, the original did this as well, but just the moments where you're seeing her mess up her lines and they have to retake it, or just certain cuts of just being more real, being more relatable. I think that works. When they spend time with the firemen, we meet a couple of them. Jay Hernandez plays Jake, and of course Jay Hernandez I really like as an actor. Jonathan Shech as George Fletcher. He's another actor I've seen in a couple things. And what I like about these two in particular, but just really all of the firemen, is that we get a lot of time with them. There's some moments that are recreated from Rec, but you get a little bit more character stuff with them, a little bit more maybe fun stuff with them. And I enjoyed that because especially when they get to the building and when shit starts to go down, you feel like you spent some time, at least enough time with these characters to where when something happens to some of them, it's like, damn, I really like that guy. But now, look at him. Now when they get to the apartment building, that's when all hell breaks loose. And the moment where they're trying to talk to Mrs. Espinosa and the old woman in her apartment, and she's freaking out, she's erratic, like that scene works. It's the shadows, it's the creepiness. A lot of the things that they did in Rec is pretty much recreated here, almost step by step, almost beat for beat, but it still works. It's almost like if it's not broke, don't fix it. The found footage genre, I think by this point 2008 wasn't as played out as it is now in 2016. Nowadays it's like you hear found footage and you roll your eyes and say, here we go again. But back then it was still relatively new. It still was used sparingly, so when you did see it, it did help enhance a movie. It did help make it more realistic, and I think this is another one of those that helped make it realistic. I will admit that there are things in here where you can watch it and say, oh, that was exactly how it was in Rec, or oh, you know what, I actually liked how Rec did that better, or maybe there's some scenes where this movie does do it better. There is some back and forth with that like now I'm watching this for the first time in that light, comparing it. I will say that there's probably 2 or 3 things in here that they added. They added a couple scenes in here, more so in the apartment building, just almost seemingly to make more action happen, or more craziness happen, more characters to kill off. And some of it's not really needed. There's a scene with like a dog like that's in the apartment that I'm like, whoa, I don't even like remember this in the original movie. I want to talk about some of the actors that I noticed that I didn't think I knew at the time when I first saw it, but rewatching it now. Dania Ramirez plays she lives in the apartment, but it's weird. She lives with like some older guy who they say is like her professor, but she's living with him, and he's older than her, but she's hot, so it's like, wait, there's got to be something more going on between them, right? But they don't talk about it. It's like it's normal. Columbus Short plays one of the police officers who was in the building. He's very forceful. He's very, like, there's a moment where everything's going to hell, and they're blocked off in there, and even he seemingly doesn't know what's going on, and he freaks out and sticks his gun out, and just, I feel for him in that moment. He's trying to stay under control, he's trying to stay calm, but he too is probably freaking out inside, and you can see it, especially in that scene. Dennis O'Hare, I didn't even realize he's in this movie, and he has a small part. I kind of wish he was in it more and did more. And also the mother who has her little daughter, her little girl, who is sick, and you get a little bit more with that. The little girl is played by Joey King. If some people might recognize her as the girl in The Conjuring, where she was, I think, Channing Tatum's daughter in White House Down. I've seen her in a couple things since then, but she's super young here. She's like 5 years old in this movie, so that was kind of funny to see. Now, as much as I find in general frightening, like I said in my rec review about some infection that will start the zombie apocalypse, I do like this version of, like, probably the most realistic version of a zombie apocalypse you'd ever get, just in the sense of how it gets created, some extreme form of rabies that started from a dog and whatnot. All of that works, but also just the idea of cops blocking you off in a building. And there's an extra scene added here that I do like, of one of the tenants trying to get out. They open the window, they rip open the thing, and they're trying to jump out, and then they get snipered in the head. There are snipers outside of the window making sure these people don't get out. That's insane. That's scary to me, to where there's no getting out. There's the government won't let you out. You can't even trust them. Sometimes I'll complain about jump scares in a movie and how they overuse it, but this movie uses a lot of jump scares, but it works. It works because the jump scares aren't somebody jumping out and saying boo and it's really nothing. Those type of jump scares piss me off. But the jump scares where somebody pops out and it's actually something you should be afraid of, it's actually something attacking you, yeah, that's when you get me. And this movie has a lot of that. The whole shot of them running up the stairs and the infected people are right behind them, that gets me each and every single time. The very end with the night vision stuff is a little goofy because Jennifer Carpenter, as much as I like her, as hysterical as she is throughout this movie, some people think it's too much. Some people want to tell her to shut the fuck up, or some people think it's too much screaming and whatnot. I get that. The Spanish actress in the original movie wasn't as hysterical. She was just believable enough. But I will admit that Jennifer Carpenter I like because she is realistic with it. Most people, men or women, in that situation would probably react the same. I know I would. I know I'd be freaked the fuck out. But it was a little funny when they do the night vision thing and she can't see in the room and she's kind of like maneuvering around, and it's just very goofy. But then you get the ending, and it's the same ending that was on every single poster that's on the DVD cover. You know how this movie's going to end when you look at it. I don't know why they do that. Why did you make this the poster? I look at it a little differently now after seeing Wreck, but I still have fun with it. I still get creeped out by it. I think the plot and the idea of it works very well. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Quarantine? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think Wreck is better? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.
Please won't you save my desires on fire? Sometimes you need a little peace at home on fire. That's so wired. Come follow me and I can lose you. Come follow me and take a trip to the dark side, waiting for the perfect moment that I put it in ya.